We've all heard about getting cold feet right before the big day. And we were also fed the idea that usually the ones who are afraid of getting locked down are the men. Accepting you into my home, sharing my finances with you because you can't work, even though that's how we set the system up, it's a sacrifice you women will never understand. Sex and the City shows us how the tables can turn, and those who get the wedding jitters are also women. When instead of feeling like a princess, finally getting her prince and trying on the wedding dresses, you get a freaking rash.
Oh my God, your back is all red.
Just get it off. Just rip it off.
Is it cold feet? Is it the fear of losing your independence? Or is it the person you're marrying? And what about if you are sure about getting married? Is it because the person you are marrying to is the right one? Or your light bulb just went on?
I've had girlfriends for 20 years. I want you to be my wife.
The timeline is ticking. Well, let's see how Miss Bradshaw and Mr. Shaw are dealing with the wedding disaster. You know how we do it here. We narrate, we analyze, we often judge, and we do believe that, yes, we know better and would do better. Hopefully. Carrie, Aiden, and Charlotte are having dinner, and as they're eating, there is a familiar voice calling out to Carrie. It is Sharon. It's been a while. She's so happy to see Carrie, and she just wants to know what's been happening. How is she doing? Anything new? You know how it is with Carrie. Same old, writing, cruising around, and, eating.
The usual.
Charlotte is like, Carrie, what about the big news?
Carrie, what? Forgetting the most important thing?
The two of them.
Oh, geez, I'm engaged.
She's forgetful, I guess.
Sharon is so excited. She cannot believe it. The two of them are getting engaged and she wants to see that bling bling. She grabs Carrie's hand, but Carrie is like, Sharon, up. Don't be looking down. The ring is around my neck.
Why are you wearing it around your neck? Is that what the people are doing these days? I'm so out of it.
I mean, she knows that Carrie likes to do things in style. But no, it's not a thing other people do. It's just Carrie. She's special like that.
It's closer to my heart this way.
Oh, and everyone sighs in gaslit. Romance. So, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be a spring wedding, a fall wedding? Oh. Let's calm down, Sharon, Miss Sharon. This is just an engagement. Wedding is... Do we need to think about that?
Where are you doing it?
God, we haven't even begun to think about that stuff.
Oh, well, you better chop, Missy.
These places are booked years and years ahead. Carrie is excited. What? She just didn't know that after the yes, also the wedding needs to be planned.
Just forgetful, I guess.
So clearly, Carrie is not excited about the wedding or the engagement itself as one might expect her to be. And there could be a couple of reasons for it. Now, the first most, let's say simple, is that she is just not about that life, okay? She's not someone who actually wants to get married. Now, I'm gonna be honest. It does make me feel a little bit, really, because we do know that when Big did not want to get married, when he said the famous, I will never get married again.
Which is why I'm never getting married again.
Suddenly, I had to concentrate on breathing.
Carrie was upset, right? Carrie was like, can I really be with a man that doesn't want to get married? Now, was she upset when it comes to Big because that was a sense of validation she needed? Or because she actually wants to get married? That's something to discuss, right? Or that's a question. But what I would expect from someone who is maybe clear about not wanting to get married is that they would have relevant reasons why. If we would, let's say, even tap into the feminism of it all, maybe someone or a woman wouldn't want to get married because it's a representation of generational submissiveness women have experienced, and it's just not something that a woman wants to be a part of, right? Carrie could very well be like that. The problem is that she never really expresses it. She never really states it. So the question becomes, Is it Aiden? Is she not sure about Aiden, and that's why she is being a little bit more hesitant? If we talk about last episode, what we went through or what we analyzed is this whole difference in lifestyles, and not just difference in lifestyle, but Aiden not really accepting Carrie's lifestyle and even mocking it, which obviously triggers the fear of losing herself. And that could also be a reason why she doesn't want to get married. Losing independence, losing who she is. But then it becomes even more confusing. If she is afraid of marriage, then why would she also get upset when there was a possibility that Aiden might not really propose? She found a ring. It made her vomit. Clearly, she doesn't want to get married. But then when there's this idea that he's pulling back, then she's like, oh my God, I want to be chosen. So one possibility could be that Carrie is not the marrying type. The other possibility could be that she is just afraid of commitment and what that means for her, what ideas she has around marriage, and what does it mean for her as an individual person. And the fact that maybe she doesn't actually believe that her and Aiden are compatible enough to really do this forever. And then there is the fourth reason. The reason that is a little bit more sneaky-ish. Something that might have been put in her mind some time ago.
You're never going to be ready, baby. You're not the marrying kind.
If we remember, one of the reasons that I also mentioned why Carrie might have said yes to Aiden is that little encounter with Big, where he almost kind of insulted her by saying that she's not the marrying kind. And we said that maybe she's trying to prove to herself that she is the marrying type, but also to Big, who said that he doesn't want to get married, yet married another person. I mean, think about it. If Carrie actually wants to get married one day, and if she still believes that Big is the one, she needs to prove to him that she is the marrying type, I guess. I don't know. Nevertheless, it could be a little seed in her head because someone who she puts on a pedestal and someone whom she might even believe he knows the true me, right? I mean, she had an affair with him behind Aiden's back, so surely Big knows her better, is right about her not being the marrying type. Which one do you think is the reason? And answer that based on not knowing that she actually gets married with Big later on. Okay, let's pretend that that doesn't exist. Let's just try to analyze Carrie as she is right now and with her past experiences. Carrie is taking a shower and she's just, letting the water splash all over her. And boom, in comes Aiden.
Excuse me, have we met?
Can I get in there? Get the sheetrock guy coming. 10 minutes. Really come along over there.
Mr. is in a hurry. He needs to take a quick shower. So he's just like, Carrie, sweetie, can you swooch a little bit? Swooch. He just needs to do a quickie and he's out. Carrie is a little bit surprised, but she's honestly taking it better than me. Carrie moves away and she is waiting while Aiden is now taking all the water. And yes, I am probably projecting. I do not understand where this idea of sharing a shower, when the shower is you standing in a bathtub with a small shower head, pouring romantic and nice. Okay, please tell me, did you ever really enjoy it? Look, I'm not saying if the bathroom is big and there's, space and so on, but child, we've been lied that this is something that it's nice. Because the reality is that you're just standing there freezing, waiting until you can get that water a little bit on yourself. Aiden takes this opportunity to also share a couple of brilliant ideas when it comes to wedding. What about if they just went to Hawaii?
About Hawaii.
As what, the 50th state?
As in we get hitched.
They can invite a couple of friends and they can just easily do it there. Carrie is like, okay. Do I look like someone who wants to get married in sand? Don't you worry, Carrie. Aiden has another idea. What about Aspen?
Christmas time in Aspen. You, me, a polar bear, a judge. How's that sound?
Carrie just smiles nervously and she's trying to not feel all the pressure on her shoulders to decide where should they get married ASAP. So let's go into the symbolism of it all because, I love it. I don't know what that accent was. Shower is something private, I guess, right? It's that moment of solitude. And with the impact of social media and not being able to be alone with our thoughts, we might not really like that solitude moment, and we are desperate to listen to something while we're taking a shower for 5 minutes. But let's take in consideration that 20 years ago, that was not the case. And you just went under the shower and you were with your thoughts, right? The way Aiden barges in, to me, it looks like how he is barging into her space, into her time of thinking, mental clarity. Like the woman can't even be a little bit alone without him coming in and taking over, doing his thing quickly and running out while just sprinkling a little pressure all over her place. I was a little bit shooked, and to me, it reeked of invading privacy. Am I reaching? And Carrie needs to be the one who needs to move, adjust, let him do his thing and just, stand there in cold. Like, I can see that you might say it's not a big deal, but I don't understand why is it such a big deal to just ask right before doing it. Hey, babe, I need a shower. Can I join? It just shows a sense of I'm letting you decide. I'm not just taking over. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but that's how I read it. Now, when it comes to all of his wedding suggestions, the man is excited. You might say that when it comes to Carrie and Aiden, he's the one who is very excited about the wedding. He cannot wait to do it. While Carrie is a bit more, let's just wait for it. So he's just kind of, throwing those ideas out and let's see what will stick. Now, as much as I could, like I said, see this as an exciting man for the wedding, it also feels a little bit impulsive. Okay, it feels like there's not much thought to it. It's just about the final act. Because how would you expect a wedding conversation to go? Hey, how many guests would you like to have? Hey, what do you think? Where would be the destination? Like, it's an agreement between two people to, then organize and plan and blah, blah, blah. But the way Aiden is just like shooting, it does hint at a little bit anxiety and not really collaborative work, okay? Or sensing where your partner is at with this whole situation. Now, maybe there is another reason why Aiden feels so anxious about this whole thing. And it is a doubt that he might feel when it comes to Carrie and her actually going through with this. You can totally understand that the man has been hit with so many things when it comes to Carrie that make him, that can easily make you distrust the person, that, wearing a ring around your necklace is probably not helping you to feel like, this is really gonna happen. So he's maybe being so quick about it or wants to do it quickly because he's afraid that the longer they wait, the less likely it is that it will actually happen. Whatever it is, this scene to me is symbolic of Carrie being cornered. She is in her space. Aiden comes in, pushes her, a little bit out, then bombards her with all these ideas of tying the knot when she's not really there yet. And we can even look at it as the typical anxious versus avoidance dynamic, let's say, or attachment, where Carrie, because of certain fears, is creating the distance, like she's pulling back, she doesn't really want to address what she's feeling, or the fact that she's not feeling anything when it comes to the engagement and wedding, while Aiden might be sensing this distance on some level. So he's pushing even more, trying to get the reassurance because he's actually afraid what the distance means. But one thing is very consistent when it comes to Carrie and her dealing with her emotions or expressing it. Clearly, she isn't. She at least is not confronting it and talking about it together with Aiden. There is this typical avoiding, I'm gonna, maybe try to figure it on my own, while on the surface, I'm just gonna, pretend like everything is okay. And that hints at a certain guilt and shame that Carrie is feeling around the doubts that she is having. And again, what does it confirm? It confirms that there is no real emotional safety between Carrie and Aiden. That's the problem of it all. Because if you think about it, if they would be secure in one another, even if you have challenges now and then, even if you sometimes feel a little bit closed off or reluctant to address certain things, if there is a sense of emotional safety, you do come to a point where you sit down with your partner and you have a conversation about, in this case, the doubts that she is having. Like, if you think about it, this is a normal conversation. Like, this is like to have a conversation about a wedding, and maybe the doubts that you are having should be normal, right? Those conversations actually help you understand, what does it mean, marriage for you, or wedding? What are the expectations? Why do you have fears, or why do you need it, right? That should be normal. But the fact that Carrie doesn't feel like she wants to express this just shows that she is very used to playing the good girlfriend, this performance. And like I said, then in her own space, or even with her girls where she feels safe, then there she is actually expressing how she's actually feeling about the situation. While with Aiden, it's all about just being the good girlfriend and performing. Now, just to be clear, when we talk about emotional safety, it doesn't just mean that Carrie doesn't feel emotionally safe to do it, or that that's her problem. It is also a question of how Aiden is allowing for her to actually express. How Aiden is stepping up when she is honest with him, or when she is vulnerable with him. There is a sense of fear that Carrie has if she shares that she is doubting how fast things are moving and how quickly everything is changing, that Aiden is just gonna feel like she betrayed him, let him down, or that she doesn't love him. And that is a problem. That is a crucial problem in their relationship. You should be able to express your doubts. And then the other person should be able to understand those, and maybe also recognize if it means more than just certain small fears and it's pointing to something bigger. But the fact that they don't even have this conversation is, it's not gonna work. Now, as I said before, she is very comfortable of sharing how she's feeling about the whole wedding and the engagement thing with her friends, and especially with Miranda. You see, Miranda is going through her own pressures of society that expects her to be excited about her baby, and she's not really feeling it. And Carrie takes the opportunity to also express that she's kind of going through the same thing.
I get the same thing every time someone hears I'm engaged. I'm like, I'm supposed to get all excited about picking a date and a place and a theme, and I just want to lie down and take a big nap.
And to me, this all sounds stress. Stress. Like, I'm telling you, people, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that some of you also experience it in this way. When I get stressed, my default reaction is not to do anything. Like, I can get stressed because of the amount of things that I have to do, and somehow my magical genius mind decides that the right thing to do in that moment is to just sit down on couch and disturb myself with scrolling or another TV show. Because that's for sure the right way to go. So I kind of get when Carrie says that she wants to just lay down and nap. All of this feels very overwhelming to her. She doesn't even know how to approach it, and she just wants to sleep it away. Now, this obviously also points at the society and the expectation. And how can that actually create a lot of pressure for someone? And not only pressure, but doubt in yourself. If you don't feel as excited as everyone is telling you that you should be, is something wrong with you? There must be something wrong with you. If you don't want to get married, then wow, there must be something really wrong with you. I mean, today I feel like we already did a couple of steps forward, but in the time of Carrie, let's say 20 years ago, that was we weren't so far ahead, I would say. Probably. I don't know. Maybe we were. Maybe we went back. Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, today are such different times than what it was in the past. But lately, and I don't know if I'm getting older and wiser, but lately I've been looking at times and periods and so on, and I'm like, it's all repeating all the time. It's just cycles. It's cycle, and then a new generation thinks that they are doing something different. And yes, of course, things are changing in what's happening. But at the end of the day, it's still freaking the same, right? The same problems, the same behaviors, the same things we need to deal with. It's like the wheel is turning, just the hamsters are changing. Now, when it comes to Carrie, she understands that this has to be something bigger. It's not just about the pressure and so on, because people, she is not even excited about the dress.
Me, no dress. What's wrong here?
Something is off and she knows it. Now, Miranda has a wonderful idea. There is this bridal shop that she always passes by, and she's always disgusted at the wedding dresses that she sees.
We could run in, you could try on the worst dress they have, just face the dragon, get it over with.
It's like going to a dentist. Sometimes you're like putting it off because you're afraid what will happen. But then you go to the dentist, and I don't know to which dentist Miranda is going. I want to hear about it. But apparently you feel great. And it could be the same with this wedding dress. Maybe Carrie has the fear of making everything perfect or the fear that everything will go to shit. So what about if she just tries the worst dress ever? She looks like a complete disaster and she'll see that it's not that bad. Carrie is a little bit hesitant, but when Miranda slips in that she'll do it also, it is on.
Is this a lesbian wedding?
Oh, no. It's very straight-laced, conservative crowd. A lot of Wall Street types.
They get their dresses on and 1, 2...
Look at yourself.
Wait, hold still, you need a veil.
Miranda makes sure she puts her veil on Carrie, and it is time to look herself in the mirror. Carrie steps on the thingy like a little small stage. She's looking at the mirror and the laughter is disappearing. Not only that the laughter is disappearing, the laughter is being replaced with anxiety.
I'm not kidding. Get it off. I'm burning up. I can't breathe.
Sorry. Oh my God.
She's losing her breath. She tries to take the wedding dress off. She asks Miranda to help it. And in all the panic, the only thing Miranda can do is just rip the wedding dress off her.
Oh my God, your back is all red.
Just get it off. Just rip it off.
Carrie broke out in hives. She has red rash all over her back. And if Carrie ever needed a sign, this is a sign enough.
I can't do it. I can't get married.
She is back with her friends and she knows what this means. She cannot get married. Samantha and Charlotte know who to blame.
This is all your fault. How could you take her to that dump?
It was an experiment. It went awry.
I mean, honestly, this could all just be a rash from the fabric. Now, Charlotte comes with the wisdom of the only woman that actually went through a wedding. And this is all just normal. It's just the wedding anxiety. Every bride gets a little bit anxious before the big day. Carrie, though, is past trying to be reasonable about this whole situation. Did they see the freaking rash on her body?
Look at this. Oh. My body is literally rejecting the idea of marriage. Do you look?
It is clear. This is going too fast. She is not ready to get married and she is effed. She is effed because how the F is she gonna tell this to Aiden? Now, if we go into the whole, breaking out in hives when she's trying the dress, I mean, it is no secret that a lot of the times, if you're suppressing something, if you're under stress, your body will show it. Carrie seeing herself in a wedding dress because she has so many doubts about it and now she's put on the spot, her body reacted in almost having a panic attack and also then breaking out in rash. It could very well be a sign of the internal struggle that she's going through. And it's not a small thing. It's almost like your body telling you can't keep ignoring what you're actually feeling. Now, as I said, there is also a very real tendency of Carrie to overthink things, to analyze things. And in reality, maybe the dress itself gave her a rash, like it was an allergic reaction. But because she's already dealing with some doubts, she's just pairing the two. This is the sign. Now, you can say that she's using this reaction and overthinking as an excuse to give herself the permission to say no to the wedding or no to the marriage because she's not really, confident in just saying it because she feels this way. So she's using this reaction as a reason that, look, this is real, right? I really need to acknowledge it. or if it's actually her body reacting to that, doesn't matter. The outcome is the same. She recognizes that she doesn't want to get married, that she's not ready to get married. Now, she also starts kind of wondering what's even the point of marriage, right? Why do people even get married?
Why do we even have to get married? Why? Give me one good reason. Aside from the not wanting to die alone thing. Which is something to think about, I admit.
But what's the point at the end of the day? Especially if everything is right?
Things are great with us. And you know what they say, if it ain't broke.
Miranda is kind of confused. Like, what is Carrie afraid of? Like, what is she afraid will change? And what Carrie says next is very telling of the conflict she has.
I don't know. Nothing? Everything?
The everything will change versus nothing will change. Now, when it comes to everything will change, I think that this is pointing at her fear of losing her independency, of losing her true self. And it also points or hints at what are Carrie's beliefs when it comes to marriage. Now, we talked about it many times, and we also know that Carrie is someone who forms based on the partner that she has, right? She does approach relationships in this, I need to be a good girlfriend, right? I need to be the right partner for this person. They need to accept me, aka I need to be whatever they want me to be. And that's the relationship part, the performance part. But what is actual me, what is the authenticity of me, that's kind of hidden. That's something that I'm dealing with alone. Even if you think about the whole first relationship with Aiden, right? In front of Aiden, the best girlfriend, and she loves him. Behind her back, she's actually hooking up with Big, who she actually had feelings for. And also right now, in front of Aiden, yeah, chuckles and everything is good. Behind Aiden's back with her friends, she is very stressed about the whole wedding thing, and she doesn't really want to do it. Now, for Carrie, she might be looking at the situation and thinking that marriage, actually committing, like being everything to one another, means that she cannot continue performing in this way forever, right? That something will give. And because her tendencies of pleasing the other person in some way, right? Being the good girlfriend because of the validation and the image, she might be afraid that she's gonna lose everything that made her her. Like her private life will be less and less private. Also because Aiden has this tendency of just, taking over her space, which we also talk in the previous episodes, how they are kind of clashing in that way. Now, when it comes to nothing changing, it's just the other side of the same coin. Because what if nothing changes? What if she needs to keep performing for the rest of her life, choosing to be with Aiden, choosing to be with someone who she does not feel emotionally safe to share things, share her life even, because he's, like we talked last time, like mocking her lifestyle, not really accepting, and because he is the type that kind of just comes in and takes over and doesn't leave any space for her to adjust to things, right? So the nothing changes is the fact that she will keep on having to do this performance with Aiden where they are kind of good together and everything, but underneath it all, they're not really compatible. And yet, if they get married, because clearly Carrie puts a lot of value on marriage, that would be even more set in stone. And again, we come to the core of it all. Carrie, at this point, doesn't really want to get into the marriage or getting married to Aiden because it was all based on the validation of being the good girlfriend. Her relationship with Aiden was all based on proving to herself and to him that she is a marriage material or that she is a good person, right? We talked about it, why she actually pursued him again. Because she had that sense of guilt. And the only way she can deal with guilt is if she can rewrite the story of the person she betrayed. But that's all that she actually wants. She just wants the validation that she's worthy and good enough. But when it comes to the next step, she's not ready. She's not there yet. And it could very well be because it's Aiden. Now, I want to add something here. Because I don't want this to be like, oh my God, if you want to get married because there is a sense of validation, then that's toxic and wrong. It's not so black and white. Clearly, the whole point of marriage at the end of the day is, I choose you, you choose me, and there is a sense of validation and a sense of reassurance. The problem is if everything is based on that, if that is the driving factor, like it is with Carrie. Everything she does is based on the mark of being a good girlfriend rather than being her authentic self and then experiencing that someone actually accepts that and wants to spend his life with her and vice versa. So just to make that clear, right? It's not bow if someone feels that way, but it's more like, is that the main thing or is that just like a nice thing at the end of the day? Because as people, we all have this sense of belonging and need for belonging and acceptance and so on. Charlotte, though, is persistent. She tries to calm Carrie down and tell her that this is very normal.
Every bride feels that way at one point. Well, why aren't they speaking up?
Now, I'm going to say one thing here. To me personally, it is clear that Carrie is not someone who is interested in understanding if this is normal or not normal, because she wants to reach the I don't have to get married. So Charlotte coming at her and telling this is normal, this is, the anxiety that everyone feels before the wedding is not working for her, right? Because if she has to accept that, then she has to accept that maybe, I should continue with the wedding. And that's not what she actually wants. If you genuinely feel like you do want to get married and you're just like, why do I have these doubts? And someone tells you this is normal, you have a sense of relief. Right? You do feel like, okay, yeah, I'm not alone in this. Like maybe I feel like this is something wrong with me because everyone is saying that I should be excited and blah, blah, blah. And you start almost doubting yourself. But then someone else tells you, look, chill. People sometimes overhype the situation and it is normal what you're feeling. If Carrie would actually want to get married, then her doubts would be almost like calmed down with understanding that this is normal. So clearly, to me personally, Carrie does not want that. And she's just grabbing all the signs around her to confirm that she does not want to get married and that is okay. And the reason why she's struggling to just say, look, I don't feel ready and that's it, and she needs all these signs, right, is because, she does feel this guilt and shame about potentially playing Aiden in some way. Or she feels that this is how it's gonna look like, right? I just played him. Now, hearing Carrie being so defensive about it all, Miranda has a question that might sting Carrie a little bit.
Why did you ever say yes?
Because I love him. A man you love kneels in the street and offers you a ring. You say yes, that's what you do.
Now, I have to say here again, to me, this feels a very sneaky, because right now, in this moment, to me personally, Carrie is positioning herself as the good girlfriend that said yes to a marriage because, that's what you do. That's the right thing to do. That's what everyone tells you. If you love a man and he loves you, you say yes, right? But it's almost like she's conveniently forgetting that she first did not want Aiden to propose to her. She vomited at the idea of him proposing. And then she changed her mind once Aiden pulled back, or she thought he pulled back. Then she was like, oh my God, I want to get proposed. And then she was all excited to say yes. So in this very moment, to say that it's the right thing to do feels a little bit like, is it because it's the right thing to do, or is it because you were also seeking some kind of reassurance and validation, being the chosen one? Of course, looking from how Carrie is living this situation and her tendency to perform, there is also some reality to this, right? I mean, she does genuinely love Aiden and she genuinely does not want to hurt him in that way, especially after the hurt she already did to him. Maybe the whole vomiting thing and not wanting Aiden to propose is because she knew that if he actually proposes and she's not ready, she'll have to or say no and lose him, or say yes and do the whole performance act. Because she does not trust that Aiden will be with her unless she gives full commitment. And the reason for that is, again, how they re-entered the relationship. Her promising him everything when she couldn't really promise that. So now she feels like, oh my God, I can't say no, I can't leave, and I don't know what to do with this situation. Now, out of all the girls, Samantha is the least dramatic one. Maybe she's just trying to calm Carrie down, but at the end of the day, you know what? You get married, you hope for the best. If it doesn't work out, you just get divorced.
Look, you get married, you hope for the best. It doesn't work out, you get divorced.
No, I can't take a vow of forever and ever if what I mean is for the foreseeable future. I can't do that to Aiden.
And that's where I say again, whoopsie, Miss Carrie, let's revise this again. What do you mean you cannot do that to Aiden? I mean, you could say yes to him even though you weren't sure about the proposal, right? As long as you felt like you're being chosen, like that was okay. And now you're saying, but you cannot do that to him to say forever. To me, it again sounds that Carrie is just kind of, in some sneaky way, knowingly or not knowingly, trying to make it about Aiden when it is actually about her. Again, she said that she said yes to Aiden because she cannot hurt him, because she loves him and he loves her. She doesn't want to lose him, right? And as much as there could be some truth to it, we know that at the end of the day, she did say yes because she needed to know that he would actually pick her. Okay? That's why she said yes, in my humble opinion. And now she's saying that she cannot say yes to being his wife, right? To actually share the vows because it would be a lie and she cannot do that to Aiden, when in reality, she cannot do that because she cannot commit to that. Because she does not want to go through with the wedding and the marriage because she's not ready for it. Does that make sense? That's how I see it. Carrie is like positioning in a certain way the situation, but the reality is that she is the one who has doubts. She is the one who needed the confirmation. And it has nothing really to do with Aiden and how she's treating him. Miranda does what Carrie should have done. But basically, she encourages her to talk to Aiden and to share with him what she is feeling.
Talk to him about it.
How? Why do you talk about this? You say, hey, Aiden, what's up? I've just been thinking, I'm having some doubts about the whole I do thing. It'll break his heart.
She knows that it would break his heart and she cannot do that. She feels like the worst person. And at this point, she is sorry that she even said yes.
I should never have said yes. I'm a bad person.
Now, again, to me, as much as she's focusing this on how Aiden would get hurt, right, which he would, I think it has more to do about how she will now be a bad person and she would fail at the mission that she has of being the good girlfriend, right? What she promised from the get-go. Not realizing that she cannot be the good girlfriend because she's not being authentic in this relationship as much as she should be. They don't have any emotional safety between the two of them. And it doesn't work because the two of them ultimately don't work together. And this is basically very unfair. This is very unfair to her, despite of her reasoning, this and that, left and right, up and down. It is very unfair to her that the only problem she is her, is something with her, and she almost doesn't dare to even recognize that Aiden does play a role in how she feels in this relationship, in how she feels that she will lose herself, in how she feels that she doesn't have her own space and her own identity.
It's not him, it's me. I'm missing the bride gene.
It's almost like, oh my God, I can't even think like that. And I think it comes from, again, painting Aiden as this perfect guy, as this good guy, and she had to convince him to get back with her, and he forgave her all that she did, that now it's almost like he cannot do any wrong. And that is not beneficial at all. If she would approach this relationship with reality, I mean, she would say, look, I don't feel confident in marrying him because honestly, I don't feel confident that we are actually compatible, that he actually listens to me, that I'm listening to him, that we are doing things together. I feel like I'm just performing all the time and he's just pushing all the time. If she would have that approach, that would be actually healthy, and that would actually serve as, a way for the two of them to understand how to move forward. At the end of the day, what we see is Carrie dealing with her consequences, with the consequences of saying yes without actually fully being ready to say yes. Saying yes because of fear of losing Aiden and because the need for validation. And now she's faced with the reality of actually going through the wedding and the marriage. It's almost like she was trying to escape the question of, is she really ready to commit? And saying yes to the proposal also served as a pit stop. Okay, I can say yes to this, and then we still have time before the wedding. But Aiden is not on that track, right? Aiden is like, let's just do it now. And that kind of freaks her out because she's like, wait. I didn't want this also from the get-go. But what I'm going to say next will be probably shocking to hear. But it's the truth, bisses. Carrie is doing the right thing. Carrie is actually growing. And she is doing something that many of us didn't do when they had to do, when we had to do. And it is the fact that instead of just focusing on validation and ignoring all the other things that make her feel uncomfortable, she is acknowledging that something isn't right and she does not want to go through with it. How many times were you focused on getting a certain validation, on waiting for someone to show you that they love you, to the point when you reached that point, they told you, and you were the happiest person and you continued with them, totally neglecting that in reality, that was not the problem. The problem was not that person giving you that reassurance. The problem was that you weren't compatible in many other ways. The problem was that you weren't giving each other needs or fulfilling each other's needs in many aspects. But because you were so focused on just getting that validation, just getting that reassurance that you are good enough, you even stayed in things or got married or did things that you never really wanted to do. I mean, if you think about it, despite chasing validation, in this very moment, she is choosing the right path. She is choosing to ignore the sense of validation that it gives her and focuses on what it actually matters and what it will mean for her. Now, is she, one leg in, one way out? Yes, because she's not totally recognizing that they are not compatible, but at least it's something. I don't know, to me this seems that this is much better than what many people decide to do when they are focused on validation. At the end of the day, she is not willing to just jump in the marriage and have this wedding just because that's, the validation that she needs. One might say the way Charlotte did it, not even knowing the guy and getting married. We see Carrie walking on the street and she actually goes to buy some Marlboro. It was always difficult to pronounce this word.
In a crisis, people always tell you to listen to your gut. Mine was telling me to start smoking again.
The girl is under stress. And strangely, there's no Big around, Someone pointed out that every time she starts smoking again, there's Big in proximity, but this time, no. And as she's about to buy the cigarettes, she notices a bunch of magazines, like bridal magazines in the shop. And she makes a decision.
You know what? Actually, just these.
She doesn't buy the cigarettes. She takes the magazines and she is determined that maybe she's not feeling in the mood for the wedding. So a little inspiration might do her good. She'll force herself to get into the spirit of wedding. You know how Carrie does it. When there is a problem, she is going to fix it with I guess another performance. This time it's gonna be bridal mood. She's back at home and she's flipping through the magazine. She's trying to get in the mood. What will make her feel like, this is what I want?
Happy bride. Peekaboo bride.
But the more she's flipping, the more stress she's getting into. And the fact that Aiden is crashing through the wall on the other side, they're merging the two apartments, is not helping. The more she is trying to focus on getting into the bridal mood, the more she is disturbed by this banging and this reality of her wall coming down.
Stop! Stop! Aiden, stop it!
The banging pushes her to the limit and she storms to the other apartment to let Aiden know that he needs to stop.
I can't. I cannot.
He turns off the music and he is trying to understand Carrie. Carrie is going through it. She's flipping out and she's telling him that all of this is too much. All of this change is like she is reacting very badly to all the changes that are happening.
I'm having a very strong reaction to all this change.
Okay,
I can't.
Don't freak out.
I am freaking out.
Aiden is a bit confused. Is it because of the wall? I mean, I told you I'm going to do it today.
It all just feels really fast.
The hole, I told you I was going to come through there today.
It's not just the hole.
Carrie is not talking just about the wall. Yeah, that's also the change that is happening. But she's talking about the wedding stuff. All of it is freaking her out.
It's the marriage stuff. I love you and I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to talk to you about this.
And pause. This is what I'm talking about. The problem is her thinking that she shouldn't talk to Aiden about this. If the two of them would actually be emotionally connected, they could talk about this. But, at least Carrie is doing the right thing. She's making moves. Now, Aiden is trying to calm her down. He tells her to sit down on a blanket and just explain to him what's happening.
What's happening?
I don't think that I'm ready to get married yet. Do you hate me?
Oh, come on.
Aiden is very reassuring. He does not hate her. She just caught him off guard a little bit. So he's just trying to understand her better. Okay, she needs some time. They can slow down. They can take some time.
Okay, how much time do you need? 6 months? 9 months? End of the year?
Which year?
Now, this makes Aiden a little bit, shocked. Like, okay, we are at that point. But he almost dismisses it by saying, okay, you need some time.
So do you just need some time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We'll get there.
Carrie feels so relieved and she is so grateful that Aiden listened to her and that he understands. Aiden changes a bit the subject. He mentions the washer and dryer that just came, something that Carrie was always dreaming about. And Carrie smiles. She's grateful that he can make a joke and kind of break this tension. And she really loves him. Now, if we go into symbolism and, what everything means, but then also how they're acting and also how Aiden is showing some signs of avoidance, clearly this wall, like I said before, is a representation of her walls being broken down, right? That this marriage, this merging means that she will have to totally open herself up or be vulnerable, or there will be no private life. And there is this sense with her trying to focus on this magazine, but then the banking happening, that she is missing mental clarity. She is missing her time to actually think things through or to decide things with a sense of clarity and not just being pushed or perform or whatever, right? She needs this, and Aiden banging is a representation of how she doesn't have this. Now, the way that Aiden first thinks that the problem is the wall does show that he is very clueless about where Carrie is in this whole journey. It feels like Aiden is walking on his path, right? And he's not even recognizing that Carrie is behind, running, stumbling, falling off, trying to catch up. And he's just like, oh, she just needs a little bit more practice. That's how it feels to me. Like he's oblivious to who and where Carrie is while she's trying to somehow catch up, but honestly just wanting to step off the path. Now, of course, why would he know if Carrie never expresses it? But at the same time, you might even say that there is a certain level of expectation. Maybe, I don't know, this is a delicate topic, that you would notice if your person is being a little bit avoidant. I mean, not to be like picky right now, but the fact that she's wearing the ring around her necklace and they never really addressed it, there is a sense where Aiden himself wants to kind of ignore the reality that he is facing, ignore the reality of where Carrie actually is. And like I said before, right, the fact that when she mentions which year, implying that she doesn't even have an answer, when will she be ready to get married, if ever, and he's just like, okay, so you need time, shows again that he is not really ready to accept that Carrie is not where he wants her to be. And instead of addressing that and addressing what does this mean for me or what does this mean for us, he just ignores it, shows again the tendency that Aiden has of doing the right thing without actually expressing how he really feels, which is something we saw even in the first relationship they had. And the moment that it's the most, for me, I remember the most is this meeting the parents, how she needs time away from him. And he's like, yeah, it's cool, I have my own life. But, on his face, it's clear that he's not really happy about it, but he doesn't express it. The same thing is happening here. Instead of actually acknowledging that he is not really comfortable with this situation and maybe he needs time to digest it, he's just like the supportive boyfriend who understands Carrie while dismissing what she is actually telling him. But maybe it won't be that long when Aiden himself is gonna explode. So a week later, they go to a charity fundraiser organized by Samantha's boo, which, side note, I'm already making a script. So if you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments below when it comes to Samantha and Richard. I can include it. But basically, they go to this fundraiser and the dress code is black and white. Now, Carrie is wearing a white dress, very similar to a wedding dress, and Aiden is wearing a black tuxedo, right? It's almost like this is their wedding night, honestly. Like she couldn't choose a different dress, but that's the point, right? They need to be pushed in the reality of the two of them maybe being married or the wedding, and what will that do to that. Now, Carrie is with her friends and she's sharing that she had a talk with Aiden. They're asking like, how is he doing? And according to her, it seems that it's fine. Like he listened, he understood, and they are good.
Still a little thrown by the change in plans, but good. I just hope I did the right thing.
And if nothing else, she did follow her feelings, and that's the right thing to do sometimes. The party is over and Aiden and Carrie are walking back home. But as they are walking, they are kind of complimenting each other on their looks.
That's a very good look for you.
I think we both look kind of sharp tonight.
I mean, Aiden is looking like a snack, according to Carrie. And for Aiden, well, Carrie never looked prettier. I mean, she looked so pretty that night when he was looking at her across the room that there was just one thought that ran through his mind.
Let's get married tonight.
Carrie smiles. She's like, stop being a jerk. But Aiden is not joking. Like, why not? She is wearing this perfect dress. It looks like a wedding dress. And he has the tux for another 13 hours. They could just hop into a cab and...
Airport, Vegas. Huh? No muss, no fuss.
It's just the two of them and no one needs to know. Now, Carrie is not feeling the vibe, okay? And honestly, she does not appreciate how Aiden is now saying this thing. When they had the talk, he said he understood and, that they will take things slow.
Aiden.
Seriously.
Funny. What about what we discussed?
Ah, come on, you're just scared.
Yes, I'm scared. Come on, Aiden, we talked about this.
No, you talked and I listened.
And tonight, it was more clear than ever. He loves her. She loves him, so why wouldn't they just do it?
What are we waiting for?
Carrie repeats again, she needs more time. But Aiden doesn't understand. What will change? Why do you need the time? Like, this is him. This is all she gets. There are no tricks up his sleeve.
This is who I am.
This isn't about you. I'm not ready for marriage.
But Aiden is. And if that scares Carrie, that's her problem. I mean, that's what people do. People fall in love and then they get married. Carrie disagrees, not necessarily. I mean, who says that that's the path for everyone?
Why can't we just keep things the way they are? Just live together.
I don't want to live together.
Carrie doesn't understand that Aiden does not want that. He had girls for 20 years and right now he wants her to be his wife. Carrie is trying to reason with Aiden, but he is not there at all.
Aiden, you're pushing me.
Well, maybe you need to be pushed.
I mean, he doesn't even get it. What's the big deal? It's just a piece of paper. Now, Carrie calls out the hypocrisy. If it's just a piece of paper, why does it matter so much?
Because I need it. I want to make this official and lock this thing down. Carrie, I want the whole wide world to know that you're mine.
Who else would I be?
Now, Aiden is giving her a look that Carrie recognizes.
Oh my God. You still don't trust me.
He's doubting her. He's potentially doubting her and big. And she is shocked. She's surprised. She can't believe it. He still doesn't trust her? This is what all this is about? Of course, Aiden doesn't trust her. How could he trust her? She's not even wearing the freaking ring on her finger.
You don't even wear that ring on your fucking finger.
I am yours. There is nobody else.
Carrie now pleads with him. She's telling him that there is no one else, that she is with him, but she cannot marry him to show him that he can trust her. Aiden is not having it, and Carrie is now trying to stabilize the situation. She is asking him to look at her.
Look at me before we make a huge mistake.
Aiden finally looks at Carrie, and there is a sense of realization all over his face.
If you don't want to marry me right now, you'll never want to marry me.
Carrie says that that's not true, but Aiden has this sense of reassurance. He is very sure that that's the truth.
That's not true.
I think it is. Yeah.
He decides that he's going to sleep in the other apartment this night. And Carrie is desperate and pleading like, just for tonight.
Can't believe I'm back here again.
This scene, I mean, we can all agree that Aiden went off the rails. Like, this was not normal. This was bad on so many levels, but let's start with the first level. The fact that he totally neglects and dismisses and almost tells Carrie that her moment of vulnerability, when she finally felt safe enough to express how she is feeling, and he said that he understands what's all just an act, is bonkers to me. It is so damaging. It's so damaging to someone who is trying to be more open and vulnerable. And as much as Aiden thought that this was his moment of being a good boyfriend, like, it's bullshit, okay? Honestly, to me, this is a betrayal of trust, especially for the two of them. Because, of course, he also had the opportunity to express what he feels. He didn't do it. He waited a week and then he was just like, I just listened to you. Like, what the F is that? Though, if I'm being honest, it's also good that it happened that way because at least Carrie can see that Aiden is also a performer, okay? In my humble opinion. But that's also what happens when Aiden himself approached this relationship with Carrie with one goal and one goal in mind, to get married. I mean, getting back in the relationship was all about under the belief that if Carrie is so sorry, if she's willing to do all of this to get him back, I mean, this must be it, right? If he's going through all the hurt of accepting her back and rebuilding the trust, he is doing it because he believes that this is it. This is, or Carrie is, the end road. The moment he accepted big to be a part of Carrie's life, even though it made him feel uncomfortable, is the moment that he set in stone. He is gonna get married with Carrie. That's why he's doing all of this. And he just started to walk his path. And he was just pushing through, making sure that Carrie accepts him, that Carrie makes space for him, that Carrie, anytime she expresses doubts, he is very quick to say that, oh my gosh, she doesn't want to let him in. And I also talked about that, how that was all fishy, right? And it was happening till this very moment. Even merging the apartments, even investing in the apartments, right? I mean, did we ever see Carrie being invested in the other apartment, looking for decoration, trying to understand how to help him? Never. Did Aiden ever acknowledge that? Did Aiden ever sit with her and say, Carrie, are you really, like, how do you feel about all these things? No. When Carrie expressed that everything is moving fast and yada-da-da-da, Aiden was like, okay, I can understand, I can give you space. And then he just did his thing. He just bulldozed forward. While Carrie, like I said before, is trying to kind of run after him. Because in his mind, there was one goal and one goal only. So he could not accept that Carrie is not ready, because that is not in the books. The experience and the journey the two of them had cannot end with them not getting married. And because Carrie felt the guilt and she felt the pressure that she needs to prove herself even more, she was running behind him on that path, not realizing that she cannot keep up and also doesn't want to keep up. Now, did Carrie play a role in him feeling like he can't really trust her? 100%. I mean, honestly, I'm even surprised about the Carrie shock of, oh my God, you don't trust me. Because I'm like, oh my God, how are you showing him that he can trust her? Because every time he wants that milestone or that big decision that will make him feel that she is invested, she does not do it. Again, the biggest one, still keeping big and even making them friends. And the second, not wearing her engagement ring. Like, hello. And now the third blow, which is I'm not ready to get married yet. I mean, all of this pushed Aiden to just be like, you know what, Missy, I am done. I am done waiting for you to commit to me, and I am done living in doubt. We are doing this now. And if you're not willing to do it now, then I am out. And again, you can understand it if you look at it from his perspective. He's putting all this work and investment and, preparing for the two of them to move forward. And Carrie is still not sure. And he's like, the fuck? So basically, you can see that from both sides, they have issues. They're both not approaching this situation and they're both driven by their selfish things. And honestly, it's not so unusual in real life relationships. Now, if we say that the same way Aiden is allowed to be shocked because Carrie is never expressing anything, I mean, Carrie is privy to it also, no? We can say it's weird that she's shocked about it, but if you dig deeper, I mean, Aiden never expressed that he's bothered by anything. He never said, look, I really want to talk about this ring thing. He never said, okay, I really want to talk about this time thing. No, he just said, okay, yeah, understand. And that's it. So clearly she's like, what? We didn't have a communication. We didn't agree on that. And this then shows again the importance of communication. But more than that, the importance of emotional safety to communicate. That's what these two are actually missing. Now, in the last moment, when he finally says to Carrie that he genuinely doesn't believe she will ever want to marry him, I do think that with everything in mind, that is the actual truth. As much as I can see Aiden's wrongdoings and Carrie's wrongdoings, and as much as I can see the reasoning behind that and understanding it, at the end of the day, I think that is the ultimate truth. That Carrie would not really marry Aiden because there was no opportunity for the two of them to even understand what would it be needed for her to be ready. Or why isn't she ready? There was never conversation around that. So clearly, from Aiden's perspective, he doesn't know what will actually change with Carrie. Neither does Carrie know. So most likely, nothing will change. And she just won't marry him. I've said it before. Just expressing something, just saying something, just being honest about something does not mean that that is all you need to do. Expressing is the first step, is the right step. But if you're not actually going to have conversation around it, if you're not actually going to try to understand for both perspectives why certain things are happening, how to build trust in one another and support, just expressing it will do shit. In best case scenario, Aiden would just have to wait until Carrie one day would wake up and say, you know what, now I'm ready, even if she's 70 years old. And in worst case scenario, he would spend all that time trying to prove himself. And what everything kind of brings together is Aiden feeling like he is right back where it all started, where he is hoping that Carrie will finally commit to him, but understanding or realizing that she will never do it. And him walking away from it is the right thing to do, and probably many of us were in Aiden's position when we are hoping that something will change, they will finally show us and reassure us, not realizing that we are driven by our selfish needs and we are not even stopping to think, but is this really the right person? And are we really okay for one another? It's in the middle of the night and we see Carrie not sleeping in her bed. She sneaks into the other apartment where Aiden is also not sleeping on the floor. She lays next to him and he spoons her. And this was the first and last night they spent together in that apartment. Now, honestly, they are shown as very mature in this moment. It's like, despite us not working together, we still have love for each other. I don't think this would happen in real world. In real world, Aiden would be like, this B, right? She did all of this to me and now I'm just left out. While Carrie on the other side would also be like, this M, because what the F? Like he never really trusted me and he just wanted to lock me down. And then later on, they will understand their own mistakes. But somehow, both of them are very mature in this moment and they just lay back together. Now, Aiden next day actually moved out, but overall, this also serves as another symbolism. You see, they never really merged the two apartments. Even when Aiden was breaking the wall a little bit, you might even say that he was breaking Carrie's wall, it never fully fell down. She wasn't really ready. And this moment when she goes there and kind of shares the bed with him, it's almost like a representation, or shares the floor with him, it's almost like a representation of that this new relationship or this new life that they were trying to build didn't really have any real solid foundation, because also they're not lying on a real bed, but just on the floor with a blanket, almost mimicking how everything was built on naked floor or shaky foundation. And so we come to an end of the relationship between Carrie and Aiden. It is finally done and we can move forward. But let me know in the comments below how you felt about all of this. Which side are you on? Do you have any, reasons why you're side-eyeing Aiden or why you are side-eyeing Carrie? Or are you the mature one and you're looking at the situation and you say, every person has its journey. And on every journey you are, the one thing that it's the most important is to trust your individuality. Da-da-da-da-da.